Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to Keep It Pro Training Call. This call is brought to you by Networking Wisdom. My name is Monique, and I'm your host for today. I am so very excited to introduce to you a gentleman, a mastermind of this call that is every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, please send a quick text out to your business partners and friends and family. This call is free, brought to you every Sunday for the past 3 years. I'm excited because the individual on the line I'm about to introduce to you is a man of the hour, a man of today. This is a new author. This gentleman, right now at this time, is very important for us to stay encouraged. This call is a gift wrapped in a big bow. It's a gift, I say, the gift that keeps giving. This gift for 3 years is for all of us to share. So please, if you like, send a text to your friends and have them get ready for this treat. I invite you to join me, to join us, to unwrap this gift of wisdom, insight, and so much more. All of our spirits will be lifted and encouraged by the personalized information that's given to us each and every Sunday. I have the pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman that knows how to make money. In his previous company, he earned $10 million in sales in his first month. That was over $169,000 in commissions, and he helped over 250 people earn between $1,000 to $100,000 in their very first month. He knows how to make money. He loves to have fun. And not only that, he actually has a heart of gold and really care about the well-being of individuals. Please take a moment and help me share gratitude. The man of the hour, the mentor of mentors, the coach, the leader, the author, the philanthropist, the genius that presents this spectacular call, every single Sunday. While taking the time to give us this information, please take a moment and let's introduce the man of the hour, California Kid, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Are you there?
Absolutely, I am here. Thank you so much, Monique. We appreciate you for stepping up in this season and being the host. Guys, I am back. We are back again with another edition of the Keep It Pro Training Call. If you don't know and you're joining us for the very first time, we've been doing this call right at about 3 years. We do it every Sunday. It's the same time, the same number, and the purpose of this call, it's intended for anyone that's in direct sales, network marketing, and we teach you 2 things on this call, absolutely free. Number 1, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of this profession. I've been in this profession now for right at about 11 to almost 12 years, and I've done right at about $1 billion in sales. And so I believe I'm qualified to teach you how to get to the top of whatever company you're in. But the second thing that we teach on this call, for me, is more of a delight than even the first. That is, we teach you life skills. What you're going to find is as you grow as a person, your business will also grow. Now, if you're joining us today for the first time, it's imperative that you understand these calls are recorded and instantly uploaded to the website so that you can download and you can spread them and re-listen to them over and over and over again. If I can promise you there have been several times when I've wanted to stop or quit doing these calls. I have, but it's because of the testimonies of so many people truly all around the world that have reached out and said it's been these free calls that have truly transformed, truly blessed both their personal life and their business life. I want to start right now today's topic because I'm fired up today, baby. And if you know anything about the California Kid, I bring that fire to the party. I'm telling you, I don't know, man. I showed up on the scene like this. I can't help it. It's just something that's a part of me. And so I want to tell you that I've wanted to stop doing these calls, but I haven't been able to stop doing them because of the contribution and how many people have been truly blessed behind these calls. And I know that that kind of tees me right up in today's topic. We've been doing a series now for the last 5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Today is week, I believe, number 5 or 6. And we've been doing a series on contagious confidence. Now, look, I'm not a pastor, so, listen, you hear the word series. Wait a minute, is that a pastor? No. No, I'm not a pastor or anything of the like, although I do love pastors. Trust me, I love them, all of them. But I can tell you, we've been spending ample time on this subject, contagious confidence, and the reason being, folks, I believe it's the most important. It's the most important topic of your life. It is. It is. If you're going to live a blessed life, an abundant life, if you're going for it, baby, you're going to need confidence in every area of your life. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. So I didn't want to rush through this topic. I really didn't. I wanted to take my time, really begin to cultivate the ground, plant some really good seeds so that everyone, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what your race, gender, what your level is in your company, I wanted everyone to be able to listen to this specific series and really gain a tremendous amount of wisdom and insight and instantly begin to apply it so that you can begin to fly even higher in your life and your business. This topic is imperative. This is no joke. I'm telling you, this topic, I know this topic so well. If you've ever if you are a leader, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a dreamer, if you are a believer, if you're just somebody who's trying to accomplish things, live a purposeful life, this is a topic that you're going to encounter in every area of your life. This is no joke. When we talk about contagious confidence, without confidence, you begin to doubt, second guess, unsure. I just don't know. It's literally what happens is when you don't have confidence, the insecurity raises so high, the uncertainty raises so high, the double-mindedness raises so high that it literally kills not only your progress, it kills your dream. It kills your dream. Well, let me tell you something. You will never, and I want you to catch this, ladies and gentlemen, you will never, ever sustain something you did not believe you were supposed to have. This is how imperative this is. Let me say it slowly one more time. You will never, ever sustain something you did not believe that you were supposed to have. And what that means is you may get lucky a time or two in life where you may obtain something. Obtaining and sustaining is two different things. You may obtain fortune. You may obtain good health. You may obtain a pretty girlfriend or boyfriend. You may obtain a good job. You may luck up and get it. But if it's not something that you believe you deserve, if it's not something that you believe is yours, you will not keep it. This is how important confidence is. Confidence is. It's very important. And so, again, this is why we've taken our time deliberately, intentionally in this topic in this series. I've tried literally, I've done an excellent job as we've gone over the last 5 weeks to really give you the different elements, the different stages of how do you build contagious confidence. That is my goal for all of you who are listening. I don't need to know your name. I don't really care what you sell. I don't care what company you're in. None of that matters to me. But I can tell you one thing. I love when I see a man or a woman who walks in confidence. Now, I didn't say who walks in arrogance and there's a huge difference, but I said who walks in confidence. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay? And so it's because I understand it. I understand. When your confidence goes out the window, everything else follows. When your confidence goes, everything else goes out the window. Everything. In everything you do, you are going to need confidence. You're going to need to build your confidence. in everything that you do, okay? So I want to encourage all of the listeners, go back. Have you taken any notes from these calls? Better yet, have you applied any notes from these calls? If you're just jumping on today for the first time, you need to go back and listen to part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all the way up to today. Today is part 6. I want you to make sure you get this stuff in you. I'm just telling you, it will not be boring when you go back and re-listen to it, and it certainly will not be a waste of time. I'm telling you, this topic that we are on, we've hit the ball out of the park. We have hit the ball out of the park. This is the topic you need, specifically right now with where our world is today, with this virus that's traveling all around the world. And guess what it's doing? It's affecting every industry. It's affecting everyone. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how good of health you have. None of that, it matters right now. This virus is intended to disturb everyone's confidence. Everyone. That is its intended purpose, to disrupt, dismantle your confidence. Your confidence in your fellow man, your confidence in, how long am I going to live? Am I going to get it? Do I get it? Is it me? This virus is no joke. But when you're not anchored in truth, you're going to be completely, you're going to be shaken up. Anxiety is going to go through the roof. Let me say it again. And we talked about truth on the very first phone call. That's why I said go back and re-listen to it. When you're not anchored in the truth, you will fall victim to every little thing that happens, and you will allow it to take your confidence. And once your confidence is gone, everything goes out the window. Everything. It's next to impossible to win a fight without confidence. Now, there are other elements you're going to need to win, like being prepared, strategy, stamina. You're going to need all that. All this stuff, goes together. All this stuff is important. But I can tell you, if down in your gut, as they say, in your knower, if you just aren't confident that you qualify, you're enough, you've got a shot to win, you can do this, this is possible. If these aren't your self-talk to yourself, then you don't have a shot because you don't believe in you. Stop waiting on someone else to encourage you. Stop waiting on someone else to uplift you, and you begin to talk to yourself. You learn how to believe in you. And again, I want to encourage you, go back and re-listen to the last 5 weeks, because today's topic definitely is my most favorite topic. And I might have said that before because I got a lot of favorites. But today's topic is something that, again, it falls under the umbrella of contagious confidence. And I've been itching to get to today's call. I couldn't wait to get to this call today because I knew that this topic today that we're going to dive into, this is it right here, baby. And this is a very, 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 very tough topic for some of you. What we're going to talk about, again, this is a part of developing contagious confidence. But this specific subject that we're going to talk about today is very hard for a lot of people. Now, if you've been following us for the last 5 weeks, you know that every week that I come on here, I always start whatever topic that we're talking about, I start it from a spiritual perspective. So I'm not coming on this call with my opinions. I'm coming on this call with both truth and facts. One more time, I'm coming on the call with truth and facts, okay? And so today's topic that we're going to be talking about underneath contagious confidence is giving more. I'm going to talk to you about how giving, or the spirit of generosity, literally not only enhances your confidence, changes your life. One more time. Today's topic is giving more. That is the topic. We're going to talk about the spirit of generosity. And we're going to talk about that, how that increases your confidence. Big time. I mean, big time. Over the top is what it does. So what I want to do is I want to first of all begin today, like we've done the last few weeks, and take you back to a spiritual perspective so that you understand where I'm coming from, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off today by giving you two scriptures. I'm not, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read these scriptures, but I want you to know that today's topic and where I'm coming from today is stemming from these two scriptures. I want to highly encourage you to stop the call once this call is over and go read these scriptures. Don't tell me you don't have a Bible. Use your cell phone. Every one of you have a cell phone. Go to Google, punch in the scriptures, and read it so that you understand that what I'm saying is not an opinion. So as I begin to share with you how this works, I want you to know why it works, okay? I don't just want you to do it because Romacio says do it. No. I want you to understand why you're doing it, okay? So here we go. Scripture number 1 is Malachi, 3rd chapter, verses 8 through 12. And if you want to know which version of the Bible that I'm coming from, it is the new NKJV, New King James Version. Okay, that's called NKJV. All right. The second set of scriptures that I want you to read is Luke, 9th chapter, verses 12 through 17. One more time. Luke, 9th chapter, verses 12 through 17. Now, look, I'm not a fool. I know that not every single one of you thousands of people that are listening to this call read the Bible. I already knew that before we started the call. I know that not all of you believe right now today in God. Or some of you say you believe, but you really haven't been practicing that much, which I'm not here to condemn you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to share with you how these principles work for you, okay? So whether you've been to church or not, that day missed me with all that. I'm not really interested in that right now. I just want, when we're done, I want you to go to these scriptures that I just gave you and read what it says for yourself. Because I'm getting ready to take you on a journey over the next 30 minutes, and I'm telling you, it's going to light you up. And I don't want you to get motivated. I'm not looking for you to call me and text me and tell me, wow, this call really motivated me. I'm not trying to motivate you. That's not my goal. I'm trying to get something to you. I'm trying to get something to you so that we can begin to birth great things through you. And I want you to understand how this works. And yes, I'm very passionate. Very, because I know how this concept of giving has saved my life. Has saved my life. And I told you, I wanted to stop doing these calls. Because again, for 3 years, every Sunday, I'm doing a free call. I don't know if I'm talking to 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, or I don't know if I'm talking to 2 people. I have no idea. But literally, God told me this is what I needed to do. I have a gift. I've been really blessed. And my job, gifts are meant to share. They're not meant to keep. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Gifts are meant to share, not to keep. This gift that's been given to me, my job is to go give it away. And so, as we've always said, many of you know that our slogan on this call is, if you want to help what we do, if you want to help me, or if you want to help this whole vibe of this call and what we've been doing for 3 years, I want you to remember this. What we make happen for others, God will gladly make happen for you. And today I'm getting ready to reveal, why do I say that? I've been saying that for years. Matter of fact, if you can come to my house, I got a huge banner in my bedroom, huge banner. And it says exactly what I just told you. What we make happen for others, God will gladly make happen for you. If you go to my website, it's on my website. It's everywhere I go. Why? Because let me tell you something. You may be smarter than me. You may be faster on the computer. You may be able to read better. You may be more connected than me. You may be wealthier than me. You may be more good looking than me. You may be taller, shorter, whatever than me. You may be more educated, all that stuff. But I can tell you what, this principle of giving has saved my life. I know what it feels like to be unsure, uncertain if you can do something. I know what it feels like, to all the fellas on the call. Will I ever get that girl? I mean, way back when I was a little boy. Oh, man, I want a girl like that. Wow, she's amazing. Will I ever be enough to get that girl? Am I tall enough? Am I wealthy enough? Do I have enough muscles? Am I enough? Now, come on now, we're being honest. Every man and woman on this call has suffered, and many of us still suffer from the thought process of, am I enough? I know what that's about. And that comes from a place of, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm good enough. And you say, well, how does giving tie into building your confidence? Don't worry, I'm getting ready to share with you in just a moment. Now, I want to go slow. I don't want to be in such a hurry that we don't get a chance to finish this. But I can tell you right now, I'm probably going to do another series just on this alone, just on giving alone, because I really want everyone to get this stuff today. I want you to get what we're saying. I want you to really understand why this works. And I realize that we've got thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that will listen to this message. And I understand that each of you are at different places in your life, different backgrounds, different belief systems. You know, maybe your mama taught you this, maybe you don't like this, or whatever. So I understand we got a lot of concrete that I've got to break through on a phone call, right? So it's not easy, but this is necessary to get this across to you. So I do want to take my time. And again, if we run out of time today, we will extend this. We'll create a whole new series just around this. I'm telling you, this series is that good. Okay? So, again, go take a look at those scriptures when the call is over. Now, as we start from a spiritual perspective, it's important for everyone to understand how God set this up. And again, yes, I'm talking from the spiritual perspective first. Then I'm going to bring you to the natural. The way God intended it. And again, I'm going to go kind of quickly because, again, when you read the scriptures, you'll confirm everything that I'm saying. The way God intended it is when you give, you are giving God the opportunity to bless you more and more and more and more. Now, when we talk about giving, the principle of giving, I want to start with John 3:16. And I will quote this scripture. It says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish and have everlasting life." That's what it says. I want to draw your attention to he gave. So what we've learned about this word of giving, giving is an action word, baby. It is not a noun. It's an action word. Giving. And trust me, I'm getting fired up. I'm having to contain myself right now because there's so much that happens when your heart is right. When your heart is right. Now, none of us is perfect on this phone. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day. Gonna make some more mistakes tomorrow. I'm quite sure. So this is not about who's perfect on the call, because none of you are perfect. But what we're trying to tell you is that when your heart is right, okay, what do you mean right, Romacio? What we're saying is, I want you to get in alignment with the way that God intended it. You say, well, why so? Because God created this thing called life. He created you and I. So I think he knows a little bit more than you and I do. And if you want the blessings, which we all want, man, I want this, I want abundance over there, I want it over there. If you want the blessings, then we've got to understand the principles that govern the blessings. And this is why I'm so fired up. So, when you understand John 3:16, that it all starts with giving. God started first. He gave his only son because he loved us that much. Now, to speed up the call, I want to talk about, when we talk about giving, many of you think that we're just talking about money, and that is not true. According to Scripture, there are three things that you can give. You can give your time. Some of you don't have any money at all. And we're going to fix that. My goal is to fix that problem. But you can give your time. Number two, you can give your talents. Maybe perhaps you're good at something. Maybe you're good at doing hair. Maybe you're good at cooking. Maybe you're good at cleaning. Maybe you're good at construction. Maybe you're good at banking. You can give your talents, which most of you do on your job, right? But number two is talents. And number three is treasures. Now, treasures refers to money. It refers to money. Or perhaps whatever you treasure the most. Now, it's important as we talk about giving, and the more you give, the more you're going to receive. Okay? But it's important that you understand when every time I say the word give, I'm referring to these three things. Either one of these three things or all of these three things. You decide. Time, giving your talents, and giving your treasures. Okay? So it's really important that you understand, according to Scripture, and I already gave you the Scriptures, that you rob God of the opportunity to bless your life by not giving. By not giving. Now, let's really quickly, let me see how we're doing on time. Let's really quickly dive into, there's levels to giving. I want to talk about that. This is the meat and potatoes of the call right now. Let's talk about, there's levels to giving. Number one, according to the way God designed it, not Romacio, but the way that God designed it. Number one, according to Scripture, we should give 10% in tithes. Tithes. So 10%. So that means if I'm making $100, that means $10 I should be giving back to the church or a church, or to make it even better, a cause, 10%, some sort of cause. Now, scripturally, it does say that the 10% does go back to the church. But some of you don't go to church. And that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm not going to get into that. 10%, though, should be giving in what we call tithes. In other words, the way that God designed it. Your tithes, you giving 10%, is designed to help bless your life. Now, I'm going slow, not because anybody's slow on this call. I'm going slow because I want you to connect what I'm saying. Remember John 3:16, God gave his only begotten son. Everything is about giving. You got to understand how God works. So what he's saying when it comes to money and your safety, he's saying 10% of what you earn automatically is supposed to be giving back. Now, let me help you understand, according to Scripture, we are not doing God a favor when we give 10%. That is what's written, and according to Scripture, that is what's required. So it's not like, hey, God, I did you a favor. I paid my tithes. I gave you 10% this week. I gave you 10% this month. No. Your tithes, it helps protect you. It helps keep you blessed. Now you say, what do you mean by being blessed? Are you healthy? Boom. Be thankful for that. You know, are you safe right now? Maybe you may not live where you want, but do you at least have a roof over your head? Be thankful for that. I can talk for hours and hours and hours how your life, put it to you this way. If you're on this call right now, you're blessed. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, you are blessed. It doesn't mean that you don't have problems and challenges in life. We all do. But if you can hear me, you know, some people can't hear at all, right? So what we're saying is, and I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I don't want anybody saying, well, are you saying, Romacio, that if somebody doesn't pay their 10%, that's why they lost their hearing? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But according to Scripture, your 10% in giving tithes does help protect and bless you. So the first level of giving, is giving tithes. Now, the amount does not matter. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to tell you, if it's $2 or it's $20 or it's $2,000. The amount, God don't need your money. He's the creator of money and all these resources. I'm just trying to explain to you the principles of how an abundant life works. Now, I told you we were going to toggle between the spiritual and the natural. Let's fast forward to people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, some of the wealthiest people in the world. Many of you already know that these guys have, now we understand that they're mega wealthy, but they're giving over half of their wealth away. I think it's like 50 to 60%, something like that. They're giving over 50 to 60%. Now, some of you are saying, well, wait a minute. If I had that type of money, of course I can give it away. But listen, if you begin to understand how currency works, current, I'm saying it slow, C-U-R-R-E-T, currency. It has a current. What does the word current mean? It means to flow. When you receive money, it's supposed to flow. God did it this way. I didn't do it this way, baby. 10% of the money is supposed to flow back to the storehouse. What does the storehouse mean? That means the church. That means an organization that literally, some cause, but it does, according to Scripture, it means the church. But if you're not going to a church, maybe give to some cause or whatever. But 10%. I want you to get this, man. I really do. 10%. And watch and see what begins to happen in your life. Now listen, God is not a fool. So don't be playing a game of, man, I paid my 10%, guys, and I ain't seen nothing happen in my life, man. Hey, my life, what's up, man? Romacio's talking about giving you 10%. Here it is. I didn't give 10%, man, and I don't see nothing. Hey, man, matter of fact, my problems have increased, man. God is not no fool, so you better watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth. Slow your roll. What we're saying is your heart. It's about your heart. That's what God is concerned with. That's why it doesn't matter if it's $2 or $200 million. It's the heart of the matter, not the amount. It's the heart. And many of you have been taught, I ain't giving you nothing. Many of you have it all twisted. You've got it wrong. You have this entitlement syndrome that, listen, this is my money. I've earned this money, and I'm going to hold on to it. I'm not giving you nothing. Nobody gave me nothing, so I'm not giving nobody nothing. And all I'm trying to simply say to you is according to the way God has set it all up. I hate to bust your little bubble. You're not the master of it all. You're not the person who set this up. Yeah, it may be your life, but there was somebody before you that designed you, homeboy. There was somebody before you that actually put protocol rules in place that he says, hey, listen, if you decide to follow these rules, your life will even be more blessed than what it already is. That's my point today on this call. So again, level 1 is tithes. Learning to give tithes. My goal, my aim on the call today is to encourage you to where your heart can change about giving. Now, you're not giving to me. No, you're not giving me anything. What I want you to do is I want you to give 10%. Start learning to give. Because I'm going to show you something here. Let's go to level 2. Level 2, according to Scripture, remember I told you there's levels to giving. Level 2 is offerings. Now remember, you've already given 10%, and 10% is just to keep you blessed. But this is what I like. Level 2 is what we call offerings. And according to Scripture, and I already gave you the Scriptures to read so you can confirm everything I'm saying. Level 2 is where your offerings now get multiplied. Woo! See, some of you don't understand. God does not work 1 plus 1. That's not how God works. God works in multiplication. So what God has done is He set the equation up of how to get your blessings multiplied. Let me ask you a question. How many people are listening to me right now that you would like the blessings in your life to not just add? You don't want to just 1, 2. How many of you would like it to multiply? Woo! Well, let me tell you, and I want you to write this down. The multiplication of blessings in your life is tied to giving. It's tied to giving. Hello, anybody home today? It's tied to giving. Write that down. The multiplication of blessings in your life, I don't care how stinky you are. I don't care how messed up you are, how many mistakes you made today, yesterday. I don't care about none of that. None of that matters. None of that matters. Because we all fall short. We all make mistakes. But if you want, according to Scripture, if you want the blessings of your life to be multiplied, it's tied to your offerings. Your offerings. It's tied to giving. So we've already talked about level 1 is tithes. Level 2 is offerings. So what is offerings, Romacio? Okay, well, 10% of your income, you decided to give it away every month or every paycheck. Okay? And I'm not gonna get into should it be 10% of the gross or 10% of the net. Man, look, there's a whole bunch of different. Some people believe the net, some people believe the gross. Look, I don't care about that. The point is just, and God doesn't need. It's just you. It's the heart of the matter. Okay. So that's level one, tithes. Level two is offering. So what this means is you've already given the 10%, and now we're talking about a little bit more, offerings. An offering could be, have you ever just, been driving down the street, you know what, I want to give this person $50. You know what, today I want to go ahead and give this person $100. So I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. I see this little girl over here and they're trying to do their own little cupcake business, and I'm just going to go ahead and just give them $300. Or I'm going to give them $50. So I'm going to give this person over here, they need a new carburetor for their car. I'm going to go ahead and just give them, $500. Or this person over here, they need a TV, they don't have no TV. I'm just going to go ahead. These are offerings. This is above and beyond the tithe. Or you know what, this person over here, they've been struggling. They don't have they're handicapped right now, and they can't clean their toilets and clean their house. I'm going to give my time and go over there and offer to clean their house for free. Remember, when we talk about giving, we're talking about time, treasures, and talents. But the word offering is you're giving above the tithe. This is level two, so you're giving more. That's why the call is called giving more, right? So level two is you're giving more. And this is when God begins to multiply your blessings. This is so amazing right now. I hope you're getting this. He begins to multiply it. Multiplication, baby. And guys, if I'm on this call teaching you this stuff, rest assured this is how I live my life. If you ever want to know, Romacio, how come it always seems you find a way to win? No matter what company, no matter what you're selling, no matter what you do, some of y'all think that, man, Romacio, you just have the Midas touch. No, what you don't understand, I have a tremendous amount of favor over my life. You don't understand, I make more mistakes than Carter made peanuts. God's grace, God's mercy, it keeps me, it shields me. You don't understand that I'm always giving and giving and giving and trying to figure out more ways to give more and give more and give more, because I'm so thankful for God's grace and his mercy. Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a different perspective. I am in sales and marketing. That's what I do. You guys know I'm a part of network marketing. I'm one of the best in the world. But do you understand, what if something happened to my voice? What if something happened to my ability to move around and to engage with people? That's all it would take for everything to be over. What if all of a sudden I lost the ability to move around, to use my voice? That's all it would take. And now the lights then went out on me. I'm not that good enough to give myself a guarantee that my health is going to be what it needs to be so that I can function. So what I'm saying to you, I'm thankful that God continues to spare my voice. He continues to give me a sound mind so that I can think and I can articulate the principles of how to build this business in a simple way where people like you can learn from it. That comes from God. But what I'm saying to you, what I do try and do, even though I make tons of mistakes, I try and give and give and give and give. And for that giving, God multiplies the blessings in my life. This is how it works. And I can't wait to get to the third level in just a second, because I told you, I'm going to make this real specific for you. I'm not on here preaching and we're just talking theoretical jargon. No. This is how I live my life. In fact, when I finally understood these principles, when I finally learned this stuff, this is when my life exploded. And that's why I'm excited to teach it to you guys. I'm excited to give this to you. See, a lot of the times we look at various different people, not just celebrities, but we look at people and we wonder, man, wow, they are really doing well in life. And, we're happy for them, and you should be happy. But we see them while they're harvesting, and it looks like, man, his life or her life, and she just is glowing, and he is just glowing, and wow, his health and his money, and it's just, wow, he looks like he or she is just on top. They're unstoppable. But see, oftentimes what you don't know how many seeds they've planted in the ground. When I talk about seeds, every time you give, that is a seed. God gave his only begotten son as a seed for you and I. Seed means beginning. If you keep it, it's your harvest. If you plant it, it's a seed. And what we're saying, instead of you taking all the money you receive, because when you take it, that's your harvest. When you plant it, that's your seed, baby. And what we're saying, just like a farmer that wants to keep the crop flowing, there's that word again, that wants to keep the crop flowing, you got to keep sowing, baby. It's called sowing and reaping. God set this up. I did not set this up. God set this up. And so you need to understand how this thing works. And if you really want to make me really, really happy, I want you to share this call with 10 people. And of the 10, I want at least 5 of them to be young people. At least 5 of them. I want to get this message out to the young, I'm 42. I want to get it out to the guys that's 17, 18, 16, 19. I want to get it out to them youngins because I can't wait for them young folks to learn this principle. And I know that there's going to be some guy or some little girl who's going to hear this and go, Mommy, is that how it really works? Okay, I want to go to those scriptures. I want to look those scriptures up that he was talking about. Mommy, because I want to be really, really successful. And you're right. He's right. I do need God to multiply my blessings and multiply the people that's going to come into my life and multiply my health. And I need multiplication, Mommy. How do I get it? This man on the call talked about I got to give something called a tithe. Mommy, what's he talking about? And then the man said, if I give an offering, that's above and beyond the tithes, and God is going to multiply it for me. Oh, yeah, Mommy, I'm excited to learn this stuff. That's why, if you want to help me, I want you to take this call. As soon as it's done, we're going to upload it instantly, and I want you to give it away. Just like I gave it to you, I want you to give it to 10 people. But 5 of them, I want them to be young people. They don't need to know my name. My name is irrelevant, who I am. I'm just a messenger passing by. All right? So that's level 2. Now listen, here goes my favorite levels. This is for the heavyweights in the room. My favorite level, and this level here, remember I told you there's levels to this giving thing, right? My favorite level, this is the big one right here, baby. This is the big one. This is the big one. If you were a fisherman, as my grandfather, he loved to fish. And whenever he went fishing and they were going to catch a big fish, he would always say, get the net. Somebody get the net. That means I'm going to need help reeling this one in. It's so big. Well, this one right here, level 3, the final level, according to Scripture, and I've already given y'all the Scriptures. Level 3 is what we call sacrificial offerings. Sacrificial offerings. Sacrificial offerings. Now, level 3, what does sacrificial offering means? I want to break it down for you. Now, we've already talked about the tithe. That's the tithe is level 1. That's the basic. Like I said, you ain't did nobody no favor because you paid your tithes. That's the way it's supposed to be. Level 2 is above and beyond. Okay, that's an offering. You're making offerings. You're doing offerings. That's good. That's really good. Blessings begin to get multiplied in your life. But I want to take you back to John 3:16 one more time. It says, John 3:16, God gave his only begotten son. Stop, pause. Let me ask you a question. If you were to give your only begotten son. In other words, you let them murder and kill your only begotten son. Would you consider that to be one heck of a sacrifice? Yes, it is. And God did it for you and I. He did it for you and I. That's why he did it. He gave his only begotten child. What is my point? Number one, that is what we call a sacrifice because it hurts. It's something you can feel. Oh, that hurts. So when we talk about sacrificial offering, we're not talking about a tithe. We're not talking about an offering. We're talking about something that, man, you don't want to do. And it hurts. I mean, when it hurts you, it hurts God. Let me write that down. When it hurts you, it hurts God. In other words, when you can feel it, like, for example, giving up some peanuts, maybe that ain't no big deal to you. Okay, all right, I'll stop eating peanuts, make me a little bit healthier, whatever. Okay, that's not a sacrificial offering. Giving an extra $5, $10, Now, if that hurts you, if that really hurts you and you don't have nothing, then that can be classified as a sacrificial offering. I'm talking about if it hurts you, you need $10 to keep your lights on right now. They're kicking you out your house, and you are about to go give the $10 you don't even have to someone else, and you need it to live. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That can be classified as a sacrificial offering. The point, it's not the amount, but it is the concept. I want you to get the concept. The concept is it's a sacrifice. It hurts. Let me give y'all a quick story as we get ready to wrap this call up. I'll never forget this. It was the year of 2016. I had made over $10 million in my life from network marketing. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I was bad with my money. I was not good with my money. Long story short, I found myself virtually broke. I was basically broke. We're talking 2016. I had a little bit of money left. When I say a little bit, we're talking less than $100,000. Now, mind you, imagine you made $10 million throughout the years. And there I was in 2016. I was a statistic. I was broke. I was the guy, made all the money, blah, blah, blah. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame the presidents. I don't blame my parents. I don't blame my upline. I don't blame anybody but me. I was not good at saving money. I was great at making it, but I was not good at saving and investing my money. This is 2016. And at that time, I began to really embark upon having a closer relationship with God. Like, I knew about God, right? But I didn't know all this stuff I'm teaching you today. I didn't know it. I mean, I heard about paying your tithes, but I never paid no tithes. No. I never did, right? And so long story short, to keep the call short, I just wanted to get serious in my relationship with God. That's all. I just wanted to get closer. I wanted to get a little bit better. That's all. I wanted to know God and understand how does this thing really work. And, I wanted to have a relationship, a much closer personal relationship. And so how do you have a relationship with anybody? You begin to spend time with them. And that's what I began to do. I began to read. I began to go to some Bible studies. I even, picked up my own, and this is the best part, I picked up my own spiritual advisor, a lady I met on an airplane. Lady's 80 years old. Here I am. I think I was 39 back then, or 38 or 39, and she's 76 years old. I'm black, and my spiritual advisor is a white lady who's 76 years old. Now, when you're probably thinking of 76, you're probably thinking, man, can you even understand her? Can she still talk well? No, this lady can rap, as in like a rap star. She speaks very well, very clear, and she's still my spiritual advisor to this day, to this very day. And long story short, she began to become my spiritual advisor. We would have weekly council calls where I would take notes, and she was teaching me basically what the Bible said, what the Bible is about, and how do you have a closer relationship. And it's just been the most amazing, one of the most amazing parts of my life. I'm forever grateful of Dr. Clarice Fluid, my spiritual advisor. And because I can tell you, when I would read the Bible, I would always get confused. I couldn't, they, thou, this. Man, I'm like, dude, can somebody break this thing down, please? I couldn't really understand what the Bible was talking about. And in the Old Testament, New Testament, I mean, it just it confuses me, right? Some of y'all can relate to what I'm saying. So having a spiritual advisor, they were able to understand. I really didn't understand how God works and how this thing really works. And I wanted to learn it, and I wanted to learn it from somebody who wasn't pushing any particular faith. Like okay, are you Catholic? Are you Buddhist? Are you Christian? Are you atheist? I just wanted somebody. Don't tell me about what crew you from, right? Tell me, I want to learn, how do you get a closer relationship with God? Like, God hates it when people put limits on him. Well, no, God is not about religion. God, listen, did you know Jesus Christ has never set foot in any one church, ever? They didn't start building churches until 100 years later, after Jesus was gone, after he had already died. So Jesus ain't never been in no church. So when you start talking all these religions and all, that's not, God missed me with all that. I didn't want that. I just wanted to learn, how do I have a closer relationship? That's what I wanted. And so she began to teach me these principles. And long story short, I started to learn. I'm a pretty fast learner when I want to learn something. When I want to learn something, I'm a pretty fast learner, right? And so long story short, in 2016, my spiritual advisor, she never asked me for this. Listen to me. She never once hinted to this. She never asked for this, but it was something I wanted to do. Now, mind you, I'm already pretty much broke. I've got very little money left. Very little. And I decided to give a sacrificial offering of $50,000 to her. She never knew it. It was a surprise. It showed up in her mailbox. She was like, whoa, what is this? And it was a seed. Now, she didn't know it was a sacrifice to me. She didn't know that I didn't have $50,000 to give. She didn't have any idea, because we never talked about that. So it was an extravagant gift to her, the receiver. Write this down. The person receives it, it's extravagant generosity. The person who's giving it is a sacrificial offering. It was a huge sacrifice for me. It was the first time in my life I had ever done something like that. And if you want to know why I decided to do it, I was reading a book by Mike Murdoch, 31 Reasons Why People Do Not Receive Their Financial Harvest. And on page 86 in that book, it said that there will come a time where you will plant an illogical seed. And I began to think to myself, illogical seed, planting an illogical seed. Like, in other words, it means you're going to plant a seed that don't even make no sense at all. Like, it's like, what? You're going to give up $50,000 and you already basically broke? This is basically your last $50,000? Like, in other words, if Dr. Fluid, my spiritual advisor, would have known that that was my last $50,000, she would have told me, hey, boy, take this money. Do not give me this. Do not do this. But she never knew it. So again, to the person giving it, it's a sacrifice. To the person receiving it, it's extravagant generosity. I want you to get that. So I began to do what I taught you, what I'm teaching you today. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, I'll never forget in doing that. It was in 2016 when I did it. Actually, excuse me. I think it was 2015 when I gave it to her. One of them, I can't remember. I got it written down, either 2015 or 2016. But here's what I know. I joined a company that many of you know the name of that company. I joined this company in December of 2016. The name of this network marketing company at the time was called World Global Network. And we were selling a wearable piece of technology, very similar to like a Fitbit. You wore it on your wrist, right? And I joined that company, and long story short, my very first month, starting from scratch, I made $103,000. My first 6 months, I made $1 million. My first year, I made $2.3 million. Here's the best part. After 1 year of being in that company, after paying my taxes, I was able to save $1 million. Because remember, I told you I was broke, and I was pretty pissed off. I was pretty upset about that. I'm 39, you're 38 years old, and you made all this money, you ain't got nothing to show for it. I was pissed off. But I believe if something is broke, you should fix it, right? And so my goal was, whatever the next thing that I did, my goal wasn't about how much money I was going to make. It was all about how much money am I going to save. So I became laser focused on saving money. That was my whole thing. I wasn't going to go out and buy any new fancy houses, new fancy cars. I wasn't going to do all that. I was going to save money. And so here's what I'm wanting you to understand. Building a network marketing team is not easy. Over 100,000 plus people joined my team in 13 months. I did over $100 million in sales in 13 months. I helped many people make a lot of money, yes, but most importantly, yeah, I made $2.3 million that year, but the best part, I saved $1 million in 12 months. In 12 months. I've documented everything. I've got screenshots of it all. I was so happy, so proud of myself. It was the first time in my career I'd ever done it. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because of the principle of giving, that I applied. I gave a sacrificial offering. And look at what happened. 18 months later, I'm over $3 million that I made from that company. Don't tell me this stuff don't work. It does work if you work it. I know it works over and over and over and over and over and over again. Some of you are listening to my voice right now on this call, and I've personally given you stuff. And I never tell you about why I'm giving it to you. I just do it. But you don't know if that's an offering of mine or if it's a sacrificial offering. What I can tell you is that my life is abundantly blessed and will continue to be so because I understand these principles. Now, with that being said, does it mean that I don't go through down times? Yes, I do. Are there challenges? And there's all, listen, every level you go to, every level there's new devils. Every level there's new devils. But I thank God that I understand the principle of giving. Giving. And let me tell you, last but not least, what I like most about giving. When you decide to shift your heart and you begin to become a giver, what I love most is you never know how God is going to bless you in return. You don't know where it's going to come from, but you do know it is going to come. That's the fun part because your head is kind of like on a swivel. You're always wondering, well, how is God going to do it this time? And is it you? Is it going to be him? Is he going to drop it out the sky? How is it going to happen? But you can rest assured it will happen because all you have to do is line up with the principle of giving. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have done once again a wonderful job within the confines and the time that we had to be able to teach you guys the principle of giving. And now, for those of you that have followed me for years and years and years, and you notice that I love to give, now you understand. Now you can have a deeper understanding why to give more. So the last thing I want to tell you, here we are right now in the midst of the biggest crisis we've ever faced in this entire world. We have never seen nothing like this. Now, according to Scripture, this has already been prophesied. These things have happened before in the Scripture. But for those of us that are living, most of us, we have never seen anything like coronavirus. I know I haven't. And I know there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, oh my God, people are being laid off like crazy. And you are wondering, How are you going to pay bills? How are you going to live your life? Yada, yada, yada. All these things are in your mind. And I'm on the call screaming at the top of my lungs. At the top of my lungs. And I don't know if I'm screaming to 2 people or 2 million people. But I'm screaming to you, I know the answer to all your problems. I know the answer. I got it. I'm like the kid in class who raises his hand and says, teacher, I know the answer, and I know I'm right. The answer is giving more. Giving more. You can never outgive the giver. I know that falls for some of you. It's hard for you to accept that. Romacio, I just got laid off. I don't know how I'm going to do this, that. I understand. But the answer, my friends, is to give more. To give more. I know you think the source of your income was your job or your business. That's your problem. That ain't your source. God is simply using your job and or your business as a vessel to pay you through. So God can simply shift the vessel. He can change vessels to still deliver you the cash. But you got to understand the principles of giving. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you from the bottom of my heart. I want you to take this call. The moment we upload this, and we're going to do it pretty fast, just check my website, just follow me on Facebook, and we want you to grab. As soon as you see this thing uploaded, I want you to make a commitment to me to send this call to 10 people that you know for free. And I'd like for you, of the 10, at least 5 of them to be young people. That's what I'd like. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember in all that you do, there's nobody in the entire world any greater than you. I love you guys dearly. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys all next Sunday. Goodbye, everybody.